Welcome to the show, folks. For those that missed last night's episode of Give Me a Break Right Now, we talked about the college admission scandal and also about Lori Loughlin's release. Part of our Give Me a Break special called College Bribery. Well, tonight we're going to revisit. I'm going to tell you about it again. For those that have missed it. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you how... We're going to see what the FBI says about. We're going to tell you what the parents are doing. We're going to tell you who was part of this. And the people who have been arrested. So, so that's what we're going to spend tonight doing. So, that's what we're going to be spending the rest of tonight doing, looking at this scandal. So, this happened last year. It was all started by a man named William Singer, who was in the federal courthouse after pleading guilty to the charges. And these have raised like a lot of questions, and we're also going to be looking at the court documents that will help better understand this case. And they even provided a 23-page PDF transcript that provided it away. So, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at who has been involved first. Then we're going to answer the questions that they asked. And we're going to look into what the FBI said. But first, let's look at the very latest of COVID-19 numbers in Nueces County. As we come on the year, we're looking at 27,000. We're looking at a total of 20. We're getting close to 29,000 deaths with 546 deaths. 27,000 here in the city of Texas. None have recovered here in Nueces County. And everyone's here is in triple digits. Bexar, Triant, Dallas, Harris. What can be done about this? You need to make sure that you know what you're doing. You need to make sure you stay socially distanced. You need to wear a mask at all times. No ifs, ands, or buts unless you have a medical condition. Which in this case, if you do have a medical condition, what you need to do is make sure that you still follow those safety guidelines. You need to make sure that you're staying 6 feet apart, and you also need to make sure you're washing your hands every hour of every day, even after you're touching your masks. And the mask should be worn at the nose, not here nor here. And this virus is spreading a lot, but we hope that new vaccine can be coming in within about a month or two. And I really hope that the numbers go down once everyone gets that vaccine. I mean, as of today. Even El Paso County, the lowest number ever that are Brazos, Potter, McLean, Brazona, Galveston, Webb County, Fort Bend. With 135 deaths, 308. So what I would think about, what I would use is if you're traveling for New Year's, make sure you research the it's just research and try to know what you're doing. Alright. Well, our Give Me Rick special, talking about the college admission scandal, the actors who've been, the people who have been charged, and who was involved when we come back. Welcome back. We're now starting our Give Me Rick special called College Bribery, talking about the college admission scandal. Now, you don't mind me asking why I didn't report this as soon as it hit? Controversy. Riots. I didn't want people coming up to me saying that, I mean, this is what the Justice Department has been doing in that. These are among the 50 people that were charged in the bribery scheme. Felicity Huffman, Lloyd Loughlin, and Massimo Galloni, to name a few. And the New York Times has like a lot of these things. They like Stephen Masserena, who was an accountant and financial officer, and Michaela Salmon, who was an employee who had several roles in this accused taking classes for high school students. The parents who were involved, we now know was Lloyd Loughlin. And before we can move any further, a couple of days ago, Lloyd Loughlin was released. She spent time with him while her husband was in jail. I mean, her sentence was cut in half. Her husband decided to her husband had to do the other sentence. Gamel Abazis, Gregory and Measure Abbott, Diane Todd Blake, Jake Buckingham, Gordon Camlin. These were the 50 parents. Devin Stone, Robert Z. The athletic coaches were involved, like Michael Center, Gordon, Ernest, William Ferguson, who was the women's volleyball coach at Wake Forest. We have Joan Vag, who was a former water polo coach. And the other players in this were the teachers, test administrators, and private instructors. Igor, Nikki, Mark, and Martin. I mean, and this was even dragged in court. And this was back in March. They charged 50 people. And who has been charged? Like, we now know the ringleader, 33 parents, college athletic coaches. They're waiting to hear about a mystery $6.5 million con and a $1.2 million mystery identified. Sherry Brewer was admitted to Yale as recruit for the women's soccer team despite not being a competitive soccer player. The family's lawyer said the family did not know what its payment was going to be used as a bribe. No charges have been brought against Ms. Drew or the family. I mean, here's how it all works. The parents paid for the scores between $15,000 and $75,000 for higher test scores. And Mr. Singer encouraged some parents to get a learning disability waiver for their children, who can give students more time to take the test to allow them to do so without regular supervision. And the cheating, there was cheating involved, and it went down in just 3 ways. They would have someone else take the SAT or ACT exams for the student. The person in the scheme would serve as their protector and guide the students to the right answers. Someone would review and correct the student's answer. The tests were taken. Many students now where the answers would be changed, and the back doors open for the back doors open for sports. Coaches and administrators were paid to secure admission for students who may not even play the sport. And the faces were photoshopped onto athletes' bodies, and bogus achievements were added to the college applications. That's forgery. All under wraps. Much of the money that parents paid was disguised as donations for a non-profit foundation controlled by Singer's associates. Finding the money through the organization allowed parents to claim tax deductions. And after that, he pleaded guilty to counts of racketeering, conspiracy money, laundering, conspiracy to defund the United States, and destruction of justice federal court in Boston on Tuesday. The judge set his sentencing on June 19th, and he was released on a $500,000 bond, which is close to $1 million. It's not over. The children and the parents charged with the scandal received what are target letters notifying them they would be targets of criminal investigation according to the lawyer. Who was the lawyer? We don't know. Coaches are facing consequences. All the defendants are on bail and verified amounts. New investigations are open from the Federal Department of Education. USC faces more lives rewritten. Other clients have summoned. And the students are suing applicants. And this list just goes on and on and on, like this one. Now, United States officials are scrambling to fix weaknesses in the process that seem exposed. Paying full price on admission edge, and many institutions pay for 4 years tuition, room, and board up to $300,000 without financial need. I mean, it's just modern parenting. What our reporters call snow blow parenting, where moms and dads clear away an obstacle for children's success. Investigators pressed Mr. Meredith, who led into even a bigger target, Mr. Singer. I mean, all these people were swept up. This was like almost 11 almost 9 months ago. This was about a year ago. When we come back, we're looking at our special continues when we come back from Olivia Jade, the daughter of Lori Loughlin, who decided to speak out in her role of this scandal. What does she have to say about this? Plus, how the FBI says, and what the FBI is doing to look into this. That's next. This was Olivia Newton-Jay, who spoke out on Red Table 3 weeks ago after her parents got accused of the same charges. That was Olivia Jade, who spoke on a Red Table on Facebook. On Facebook's Red Table Watch. Who spoke out for her mother when she was part of the admission, when her mother and her husband were part of the admission scandal. Now, what I told you so far was Olivia's mother was released from jail. spending her entire New Year's with her family, with her daughters. But what did her mother have to say? Well, we don't know what her mother had to say. We didn't know what her other family members had to say, but there are questions and answers, and there's plenty of people out there who might be willing to speak out, and who will be willing to share their sides of the story, even the parents. Do you want to see the full interview with Olivia Jen and my table talk? I have that link in the description below, as well as on the website. It's jkerwin67.wixsite.com/givemeabreak for all these information topics. And we'll be right back. So, in case you just joined us, tonight's Give Me a Break special is all about the college admission scandal. We're talking about what's been going on in that since all the 50 parents have been accused of this. One of the parents has been released, and part of this was Lloyd Loughlin, who was the star of Full House. And Olivia Jade, 3 weeks ago, decided to speak out on Facebook to clear her name on this. And the victims in this case are hard-working students. In this case. And 12 defendants were detailed in this incident. This 23-page document shows this 23-page incident from the state of Massachusetts tells the story. And this was sealed, but the New York Times obtained it for public view. And one example, the exams hearing agreed in or about November 2017 as an exchange of payment of 1.2. So this happened like 3 years ago. And the series instruction, Georgetown, like, this was part of the email. And even at the end, I mean, the defendants were Gordon, Donna, Laura, Stephen, Martin Fox, Jovan, Horg, William, Lisa. These were the people that were in there. And the FBI had the handwriting. I mean, the FBI, this is what the FBI put out. The FBI said these statements. He would tell clients to come up with a reason. And this says in part, here's why I should get, this is why, and this is what in part it says. So here's the first thing we need to do, and I think I mentioned this to your wife. We need to get your daughter tested for learning difference. Here's why. If she gets tested for learning difference, she says my person doesn't, or whoever says I want to do it, I need that person to get her 100% extended time over multiple days. So what that means is we'll have to go slow. We'll have to show that there's some discrepancies in her learning, which there's got to be anyways. And if she gets 100% going, then I own 2 schools. And there was even a handwriting. And in one case, according to documents, Felicia Hillman, an actress, told me her daughters in high school had her own exam put her in mind. She's like, whoa, looks like my daughter's in high school and wants to provide her own product, responded. We'll speak about it. But in many cases, they were not aware of the cheating. And those what about those handwriting examples? This is the handwriting example. To whom it may concern, this provides an example of my current writing style. Thank you for your sincerely. I mean, if you look at the look at this handwriting right here, I think this handwriting looks good. But according to the documents, after the exams were scored, the students became competitive athletes. The parents paid bribes. As set forth below, he agreed to pay the bribes of $500,000. And the athletic competitions were faked. And this was going on for 3 years. 3 damn years. So, bottom line is, one of the parents was released. One out of the 50 were released. The other 49 are still in jail awaiting their trial. But we'll know soon enough, and we'll give you the very latest. When we come back, New Year's Eve is coming up. We're going to tell you in the coast here in Oasis County what you need to know about lighting fireworks on the city limits. Stay with us. Alright, we're just about to end our show here. As you know, New Year's Eve is coming up. And coming up on Friday, we're going to have our New Year's special. Looking back on all of our topics throughout the first half of this season. One of our best topics, our New Year's special. And looking back at some of the stories that we've done throughout the show, and especially College Briscoe, we're still going to look at that. But the fireworks thing, let's talk about that for a second. As you know, here in Oasis County, it is easy to set off fireworks in the city limits. If you do so, the fine is up to $2,000. That's why the police are going to be monitoring this. And as you remember, on Give Me Break Monday, we gave you some tips on how to do this, and how to set off fireworks from your community, from just wet the stuff and other things. You want to look at that? Just look up all the Give Me Break playlist. Ready, up and at 'em, ready. But on that note, that's all of his edition to Give Me a Break. But on that note, that's all of his edition to Give Me a Break Wednesday. We'll see you again for our special Give Me a Break. That's all of his special edition to Give Me a Break Wednesday, College Bribery. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Friday. Have a good night, everyone. While we're here, YouTube, have a chocolate chip night. Good night.